Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's Frank here. Good morning if you're here in the mountain region of Calgary. But hello, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the entire world. So I'm not exactly sure how many folks are here with me this morning, but welcome no matter where you're from. So, as I just mentioned a few seconds ago, my name's Frank, and this is one of my Saturday live streams. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create a live stream probably every couple of weeks or so, depending on whether we have an interesting topic or something that's worth talking about. And today, I think I do have an interesting topic. I want to talk about working with augmented reality and maybe a little virtual reality in an educational setting to do device-driven dashboards. Now, it sounds like a bit of a mouthful. Don't worry, I'll break it all down. But the reason I wanted to do this live chat is because some pretty exciting events have occurred for me that I think are going to be quite useful, and I wanted to share that with my community. So this is actually being broadcast, if you would, on Facebook, but LinkedIn. I have this broadcasting on LinkedIn, and I also have this going out live on my YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel, if for anybody who doesn't know about it, is called Learning and Technology with Frank. And mostly what I'll do on that channel is I'll talk about different tools and technologies in the educational technology sector or just in pure technology, specifically with a focus on either how we use them in education or how we can educate ourselves about them. So that's sort of a bit of a side project. My main job is I'm an instructor at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology, or SAIT, here in Calgary, Alberta. And that actually is what this live stream is a little bit about. Some exciting changes have occurred at my employer, and it's created some opportunities that I wanted to bring into this live stream. I also have a blog called franksclass.ca, and I'll put some thoughts down there. And this particular live stream came out of a post that I posted on franksclass.ca, where I talked a little bit about some ideas I had around something called a device dashboard. So if you are here and if you want to make comments, feel free. I'll try to keep eyes on a lot of different pieces that are moving here. It's just myself and my cup of coffee that are running this show. So, and the cup of coffee is doing the main work. So I'll be looking around to see what's happening. And if you're joining me later, if you're watching this after it's been broadcast, then please utilize the comments, because a big part of today is a desire on my part to create a bit of a dialogue around what's happening and what we're doing. So what is it? What's happening? What's doing? So recently at my employer, we used to have a school called the School for Information and Communications Technology, and then we had the another school that was stood up a little while ago called the School for Advanced Digital Technology, and they've merged. And when they merged, some resources from the School of Advanced Digital Technology sort of became a little bit more available. And so I will be utilizing a Microsoft HoloLens 2. I'll be borrowing that from the School of Advanced Digital Technology to work on this specific project. And I thought to myself, well, what should I do? Should I utilize this tool and then show people what I learned from it? Or should I invite people on the learning journey? Well, as you can guess from this particular live stream, that's my intention. My intention is to, as I'm learning about the HoloLens 2, which is a device I have not worked with before, I thought I would capture some of the things that I've learned and then share them with anybody that's interested on my YouTube channel and through the occasional live stream like this. So today I want to sort of set the tone or set the objectives for what I'm hoping to do with this particular live stream slash YouTube sub thread, if you would, on the HoloLens 2 and specifically augmented reality. Now, if you've seen some of my videos, you know that I've worked with virtual reality. So I have things like the Oculus Quest 2. This is a great device, and this allows me to have an immersive experience where what I'm doing is I'm completely immersed in a world, and there's a lot of good world building tools here. Very useful, because what I can do is I can give students the opportunity to experience being completely inside of a simulation. And in fact, the School for Advanced Digital Technology has a very interesting simulator that will allow students to go in and work with crane equipment, work with aviation technology, and that's located in a space down at the School for Advanced Digital Technology. I have other ones as well. It doesn't have to be a Quest 2. Another one, for example, is the HP. This is a great device as well, the G2. And so both of those are immersive experiences. You'll notice that if I put this headset on, you're not going to be looking at the world around you. But what I'm looking at doing here is I'm looking at an augmented reality, and specifically around some IoT and some augmented reality synthesis, so that and data synthesis, so I can take those elements and I can put them together. And what I mean by that is, let's go ahead and grab a graphic here. I'll just put my YouTube channel on there. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll clear that right off, and let's just pop in and I'll show you the architecture that I'm wanting to talk about here. So what you can see here is that I've sort of developed an idea of how I'm going to use the HoloLens 2 in order to pull data from various different devices, and then take that data based upon the proximity I am to that device and present a dashboard to the person wearing the HoloLens 2. So the idea behind this is that, let's say, for example, I'm at a factory or at some sort of plant, or even if I'm in a server room. And what I want to do is I want to teach students about the devices that they're going to use. Now, in my case, my focus is going to be on education. So my goal is education, where I'm looking at how can I train students to use this equipment. But obviously, this could be used in the field as well. This could be used for actual implementation in a petrol plant, or in a any type of environment where we have devices, which is pretty much the entire world. So everything from a hospital to a ship to a train to whatever it might be. And in my case, it's more for education. So, in my case, it's actually a meta education. So I'm looking at developing a curriculum set and a methodology for developing the curriculum to do the training of the students, if that all makes sense. And if you've done any of this before yourself, any aspect of this, definitely comment down below or comment during the live stream, and share some of those experiences with myself and other viewers, present and future. So the idea is, this all started really when I started looking at IoT devices, and this is a newer one, but I had some older ones by Texas Instruments, and they're fascinating little devices. So you may have these. This one here is a little MX chip. So this is connects up to the Azure cloud. So the idea is that this has a number of sensors in here that will allow me to go in and find out, first of all, its location, and it'll allow me to find things like humidity and such. So there's a number of different sensors that are available on here. You can see there's a little card that comes with it. I won't go into too much detail there, but this is an example of an IoT development device. And I'm going to be able to take this device, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect that to some sort of other device, like a machine. Now, in my case, it's going to be the pure device. So I'm just going to allow the device to sit in the world and do its sensoring. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the data from that device into a cloud. And then from that cloud, I'm going to take that data and push it into two directions. The first direction is going to be a data pipeline that goes towards aggregated dashboards. And we've done this before. If I look at a typical architecture for IoT, so a typical data architecture that we might have in the world of Microsoft, and this is actually a Microsoft slide that you'll see in a lot of their training. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the external data, I'm going to ingest that data. We call this the orchestration process. So I'm going to take a data source, either on-prem or external, in my case, IoT data, and I'll show you an IoT architecture in a moment. But we're going to orchestrate it by bringing that into some sort of storage. We're going to warehouse or clean up the data and make sure that the data is ready to be presented. We're going to use, in my case, I'm going to go completely Microsoft in my solution, and I'm going to use the Azure Data Factory to do this. So this will be a solution that uses the HoloLens 2, which is a Microsoft product. It'll use the Data Factory in Azure to do this. We're going to orchestrate it. And then this is where I split it. So I can do the analysis of multiple IoT devices in order to visualize how my plant is working in, say, a Power BI dashboard if I want to visualize it that way. But I'm also going to look at pulling it into an individual dashboard that's dedicated just to that device. And if I pull that into a data warehouse, then I can look at the current state of that device, and I can also have a historical state of that device from the warehouse, where I'm going to be able to then look at some trend analysis and get that descriptive analytics on how that device has been performing over a period of time. So if I go back to my overall architecture here, you could see here that this will allow somebody, say, in an office setting or in an analytical setting for the office, to go in, aggregate the information from multiple devices, and make sort of long range decisions around maintenance, around different types of making sure that the devices are all working, making sure that I'm managing the plant okay. But I also want to pull from that cloud a device dashboard. And that's the idea behind this this architecture, and the idea behind my plan for the HoloLens here is I want to create a device dashboard. And then in my case, I had the VR headsets that I demonstrated here. I'm still waiting for the HoloLens. I think probably be picking that up next week. And then the HoloLens will allow me to overlay that device dashboard directly on the device based upon, again, my proximity to it. So as somebody walks through the plant, or walks through a server room, or walks through any type of educational environment like a hospital, simulated hospital, whatever it may be. Now, obviously, this has real world implications as well. Education first, then application into the real world. This person that's on site would be able to walk through the environment, and wearing the HoloLens, of course, they can see the environment, but as they reach a device, what will happen is there'll be the ability for someone to have an overlay of data. So the data of that device will immediately show up on their HoloLens so they can see what's happening with that specific device. And because of the architecture that I had here, you'll notice that I've got this warehoused as well, that I'm also going to be able to not just get that real-time pull, but I'm also going to be able to synthesize that together with the information that's stored in the data warehouse about that device. If we look at an IoT architecture, for example, you can see that I can provision and have a number of edge devices here that will come into a cloud gateway or an IoT hub. I can then transform the data, clean it up if there's any outlier stuff. And then you can see that we have the stream analytics for doing the stream processing. I can then pull that into some sort of storage, whether that's going to be like a Cosmos DB or whether that's going to be some sort of storage blob. And you can see that I can pull it out for reporting. And I can also perform more aggregation and machine learning on it. But for this purpose, I'm really going to be looking at just pulling it into a dashboard for that device. So that's sort of the objective that I have with this particular project. That's where I'm going to go with things. And I think it'll be very interesting. One of the things that I will be doing is I'll be capturing all of this on my YouTube channel. So again, I'll just pop in my YouTube channel here as well. So I'll be capturing a lot of this on my YouTube channel and posting it on my blog. So I'll also be posting it on my blog so that people will be able to follow along in the journey. And more than just follow along, I'm hoping that through the use of things like this live streaming platform and things like the conversations that we can have through the comments, I'm hoping that what will happen is others who are also on similar projects, maybe people that have more experience or people that are looking to gain experience or potentially even justify the purchase of some of this equipment so that they can do their own experimentation here, will join in, and we can form a bit of a community around this. Now, depending on how much code base is going to be involved in this, I may generate some GitHub repositories where we can exchange code. But I think that might, at this point, kind of be putting the cart before the horse. So what I really want to do right now is I just want to introduce everybody to this project, to this experiment. And the initial phases will simply be me getting familiar with a new tool called the HoloLens. And I could just do that on the side and then present you what I discovered, but I thought I would lay it bare. I thought I would take the risk and say, you know what? I'm gonna invite you along with my learning journey with this particular device. Something I haven't worked with before, so it's going to be an opportunity for me to, I guess, learn publicly, learn in front of everybody. A little bit intimidating in that regard, but I think it'll also help others see the process that I'm taking. And I guess the selfish part of it is that I'm hoping that if I'm making mistakes or if there's someone with more experience and they say, oh no, Frank, you should try this or try that, that I can benefit from their experience and that they can provide some guidance as well. So I will be both learning, receiving guidance in an ideal scenario, and then providing guidance as I synthesize and take the lessons I've learned and share it with you as a community. Now, I am just having a look here a little bit. With any broadcast, it's, my live streams aren't exactly, I don't have a massive YouTube audience. I don't have a massive following on LinkedIn and such. So as I expected, I don't actually even know if anybody's here. I don't see anything in the chat or the comments. So this might just be a stream that gets posted to my YouTube channel or resides in LinkedIn where comments come after the fact. I am trying this at, I think, 8:30 in the morning is when I started this here in Calgary time, Mountain Time in Canada. But if you do join in after the fact, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, whether you want to participate in this journey. If so, I think we'll make probably my YouTube channel, be the main repository of the live streams and videos that I make about this journey. And then also the community on my YouTube tab. If you go to my channel, you'll be able to see a community tab. Hopefully we can build some community behind this type of experiment. So it's a bit of a shorter stream. I was wondering if I get any questions or comments. It doesn't seem like that's happening quite now at the moment, but maybe after the fact. So bit of a quick live stream, but I just wanted to introduce you guys to this project, and I hope that you'll join me on the journey, and I hope that you'll be a participant. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you either in the videos or the next live stream. Take care. See you later.